Hey preppers, Homestead Prepper. I was wondering if any of y'all have given any thought on how you're going to defend yourself if we have a crap at the fan scenario. Y'all saw what the looters did in London, and they were all well fed, and you know, they had plenty of rest and they had all the modern conveniences, and look at the damage that they did. My question to you is, what are looters going to do who haven't eaten in 4 or 5 days and haven't had a bath, and they haven't prepped, and they're really desperate? It's probably not going to be a pretty picture. And if you live in a high population density area, you're going to have a lot of those people around. And you know, how are you going to defend your condo, apartment, subdivision, mobile home park, whatever you live in? So I'm going to try and bring up a couple points and give you all a couple basic ideas. And like I said, this is just the basics, and this is not the end-all be-all to apartment defense. And what I've drawn here is an apartment community that I used to work at a long time ago. And you can see that the blue lines on the bottom, that's the river, and there's a road, and there's the buildings, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up. And I think there's 35 buildings in this apartment. The blue, there's 2 pools. And so the question is how would you defend yourself? Well, you don't need to be a tactical expert. All you really need is some common sense and the will to survive. That's really all you need. Now, the more people you have working on this problem, the better off you're going to be. I would ask, you know, of course it's kind of a strange thing to go up to one of your neighbors. You live in building 36, apartment 2. You ask your neighbor who lives in 36-1, hey, if you were a looter, how would you assault this property? You know, you're probably going to get some strange looks. But there are people you can ask how they would do it, and also ask them, well, how would you defend the property? You know, everything is going to be different. I'm just showing this as an example. Like I said, I have pretty good knowledge of this place because I used to work here. So one thing I would employ would be lookouts, because you want to know what's coming, okay? And more than that, if you're having a hostile band of looters coming, you probably don't want to wait till they get to your apartments to defend yourself. You want to take them out way before they get there. And one thing I would do is, like, the little blue X's are the good guys. That's the people that live in the apartment community or live around there. And the bad guys are the ones with the red X's. They'll be on motorcycles, have box trucks, you know, to collect your stuff. I would have a lookout over here at the bridge where the river is, and you know, over here, right there, there's a gas station. Of course, I'm not pointing. There's a gas station right here. Here's the edge of the bridge where the water is. Have some more lookouts. You want to have them all around, okay? And what's going to be invaluable in this type of situation is this right here, communications. Now, if you don't have the money for those expensive ham radios and stuff like that, this right here is going to work small scale in a community like this. We used to use these before out here when I worked here, and they work great in the buildings. And I'm going to say the community is probably 1/4 mile by 1/4 mile, and we had good communications at that time with those type of radios. Now, the only thing I don't like about these is they're not hands-free. It's push to talk. Now, what I do have here is a set of hands-free voice-activated radios, and my wife got these off of eBay, and they were $30. And I really like that hands-free thing, you know, in case you're holding a rifle or you're wanting to do something. You don't have to hit that push-to-talk button. It's automatic. And these are just very similar to some radios that my team had back in the 80s. And we would go explore vacant or abandoned factories, so we can go in there and rappel and stuff like that. We had a great time, and these radios afforded us a good lookout in case anybody was coming. So I've used them before. They work really great for doing stuff. I cannot stress the importance of communication in this type of scenario. Now, what I would do is, this building right here, put some people up on the roof. Put some people up on the roof here. And you probably want to do it in shifts, and I don't recommend, you know, you make the shift from like 6 in the morning to 12 noon, and then from 12 noon to 6 at night, and then from 6 to, you know, that's too predictable. The enemy, if they're looking at you, is going to pattern you, and you do not want to be patterned. So break up the times. Maybe you want to do 4 hours one day, and then instead of 6 a.m. you change at, you know, 5:45. You know, change it up a little bit. Do not fall into a pattern, because patterns promote complacency, and complacency in this type of scenario is going to get you dead. So just something to watch out for. But yeah, I would put some people up here on the roof. And this is a gated community, and it has a nice wrought iron fence that goes all the way around it. Now, don't be lulled into a false sense of security if you live in a gated community, because we would have drunks come in here. We would show up in the morning. We'd show up at 6:30 in the morning, and a whole section of the fence would be taken out, and the radiator would have been punctured on the car, and you could follow it, the coolant, you could follow it right up to where the people lived. So don't think that, and these were small cars, could knock that fence down. And I mean, you could put some vehicles up around where the gate is. You could do that, but a large truck is just going to push those out of the way. So if you're in this scenario and a large truck comes up and starts pushing that stuff out of the way, or starts knocking the gate down, then these people you have up here on the roofs need to discourage them. Okay? You can also put yourself up a little barrier here and have some people in there to discourage them. Now, what I would do is, like I said, the red guys are bad. What you want to do to help out the looters and the bad people is you want to put some barriers up here for them. Okay? Now, what you want to do is give them a barrier that a 5.56 or a 7.62 round can penetrate. Now, you have to excuse the language. I know that's a dick move, but what you want to do is give these people that false sense of security and take them out. So all you have to do is, when they get behind that barrier, you just shoot through the barrier, and then that gets rid of the threat. And I give them several barriers to hide behind. And you want to have some people over here and get a nice little crossfire. And you don't want these people out in the open, okay? Dig a foxhole or something. Get a car and fill it up with dirt. You know, give yourself some protection. And these are flat roof buildings, and they're concrete construction. And instead of just showing you a whiteboard, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the actual apartments. Okay? And there's the gate, and that gate will get knocked right off its hinges, no problem. And that fencing right there, it looks substantial. Well, it's not. It will come down. So just a word to the wise. But what I would do is, like I said, these are flat roofs, and I've been up there many a times carrying a K50 machine, and those are condensers that you can barely see up there. You can take those condensers and remove them, move them around, and fill them up with dirt, and that will give you some protection. Also, what I would do is put some sandbags up there, and I know that sandbags are probably not big on the preppers list here over food, water, security, and shelter, but cheaper than dirt. You can get 25 for $29.97, and I think it says it holds 40 pounds of sand. Now what I would do is layer, like I said, there's not a large parapet wall up there, it's very short. I would layer the belly so that if people shoot, it doesn't, you know, go through you through the bottom, and I would stack some up around the edge. Now, if you don't happen to have sandbags, you can improvise. And one thing that you can improvise with is something simple like this. This is just a shirt, okay? And you could tie off the neck or the bottom. You can use some 550 cord, whatever you've got, and you can fill this thing up with sand, and this will make a sandbag. You can use jeans, pillowcases, whatever you've got on hand. It would make a great sandbag, and it's free and it's cheap. That is a few things I would employ, and you do not need to be a tactician. All you need is some common sense to protect yourself in that scenario if you live in an apartment environment. Over here are some more apartments, and we got crappy weather today. But common sense is going to see you through. I would talk to other people and ask them how they would loot these apartments, how they would defend themselves. Get both sides. Now, some people are going to have really good ideas, and some people are going to have really crappy ideas. Well, not necessarily not crappy ideas, but ideas that aren't as good. So take it all in, and I would get some read some field manuals, and if you know anybody who's done any urban warfare, their information would be like gold. So like I said, these are just the basics. I hope that helps, and this is the Homestead Prepper signing out.